Welcome, everybody. This is my good friend, Michelle. Everybody say hi, Michelle. Michelle is a amazing, wonderful person who I have gotten to know over the years. And we work together through workshops and through private coaching programs. And some of you guys have heard me tell stories about how I would be on coaching calls and giving labor and delivery advice. That is her.
Right here.
So yes, we have gotten to be quite buddies, and thank you, Michelle, has agreed to hop on for me as a favor to give her story and advice about her successes and her struggles as well. So thank you again, Michelle, for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, and so first of all, why don't you just kind of share with everybody what this is an overhead view, what happened in your business, where things were when we first met, what changed, how quickly it changed, how things are now, all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So where I ended up finding you, Molly, was I had worked in dental and orthodontics for years, got into dog training, was doing everything part-time, and then decided, like, this is a bit before I met you, but I decided, it's time I make the leap. I'm going to go full-time with dog training. I'm there. I'm just going to save up some money and then I'm going to do it. And I did it. And then I thought, now what? There has to be, something to kind of get this rolling, because that money that I saved up is going to run out eventually. And I don't know how. I don't remember how I found you, but I found you. I'm not really big into Facebook, nothing like that, but somehow I stumbled across you. And I remember one night watching a video. You had just reintroduced a new Thrive program, I believe, at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know that I needed help in the business. I honestly didn't. And all my goal was just, how do I keep things moving forward? Because I can't be where I am now. I won't make enough to sustain us. And so I believe, oh goodness, it must have been 3 years ago, April.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. So 3 years ago, pretty much today, I was watching that video of you, and you started talking about all these things, and you were going through your lower level program, and I'm like, okay, sounds good. And then you got to the medium program, and I went, oh, it's getting better. And then you got to the Thrive program, and I was like, that's what I want. I know it's going to cost me a lot of money because the value's there. I saw the value in it. And once I heard that you, at that particular time, the Thrive program, it was, I don't know what it is now, or even if you still have it, but it was, rewriting the programs, redoing the website. I had to learn a bunch of stuff, which doing the work, that's the thing. If there's one piece of advice, I'm going to skip ahead here a bit.
Yeah.
It's not a miracle program. You have to do the work, people, but it is completely worth it. So I started talking with Molly back. I digress, going back. And she sent me, the financials and everything for the program. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to make this work. And I did. And it was great. And in order to make it work for me, I think we did a payment plan or something like that. And you know what, honestly, and I'm not kidding, within 2 weeks of my first payment, I had already had that paid off. Within another 2 weeks, I already had the next 2 payments accounted for. And it's all because I just took what you taught me and I started implementing it right away. I thought, you know what, if I'm paying this kind of money and investing, that's what it is. It's an investment. And if I'm investing in this, I'm not just going to sit back, right? It's just like you get out what you put in, just like with anything else. So I remember you sent me those videos from the workshop with kind of the idea behind designing the programs and everything. And I remember client to client, every single place that I went, I had the Facebook videos or the Vimeo. Anyways, it doesn't matter. The videos that you sent me playing over the audio in my car. And there was a couple times where you were going through the steps of the consult in these videos. I would pull over. I had a notebook in my car, and anytime you said a gem of any sort, I was writing that down. I found the journal the other day, and it has all the steps written out, and it has everything. And it's funny because now when I do a consultation, it just rolls off. I mean, it's been 3 years later, right?
Yeah.
I'm now doing consults on Zoom because I can. I'm at that point. I don't, I charge for them. Some people do, some people don't, but it's another source of income now. I went from just having 10 grand saved up and no idea what to do, to making, oh God, I remember August of that year after starting with you, I had over 20,000 gross. Mm-hmm. And that was just what, May, June, July, 4 months after starting with you. Yep. I went from probably making $3,000 a month gross into implementing what you said. And within 3 or 4 months, 20 grand a month. And that actually gave my confidence, or my husband, the confidence that he needed to leave a job that he wasn't being treated great at. Yeah. And he just said to me, I mean, because I implemented the work, we could afford to go to Maui for a baby moon before we had Vail. And we were in Maui and he just said, I want to quit. And I pulled up my phone and I hadn't showed him what I had made. And I pulled up my phone and I showed him my bank account and I said, go ahead. And you should have seen the look on his face. He goes, I should have done this months ago. I'm only seeing a maximum of 3 clients a day, 5 days a week. So I went from seeing 24 clients, 24 clients a week and maybe hitting that 20 grand a month mark to now working less, 3 clients a day, maximum 5 days a week and having over 20 grand months.
Wow, that's awesome.
And the funny thing is I'm at a point now where if I don't feel like I'm going to be a good match with somebody, I don't have to even send them the deposit or the invoice for the deposit. Mm-hmm. I can just say, you know what, I'm not a good match. And I can pick and choose who I work with.
Yeah.
And that's such a great place to be. And I feel so blessed just having you in my life, having you as a teacher and as a mentor, and just quite frankly, just having you tell me what to do because it works. So thank you, Molly. It's been amazing. And my husband asks all the time, how's Molly doing?
Oh, that's so sweet.
And your labor advice was fantastic. And
yes. Anybody's having a baby soon, I can tell you how to push.
There you go. Perfect. Actually, it's funny. I just had a big price jump since the last time that we talked. Uh-huh. I had a big price jump. And now since I moved my biggest program over that $3,000 mark, that's all anybody wants. And I'm consistently booking out 2 to 3 months in advance.
That's amazing.
And I have that on my contact form. They have to tick a box that says, I know that there's a 3-month wait and I'm okay with this.
That's awesome. That is a good idea. That's awesome.
So I was working, before hiring you, I was working in orthodontics. I was making 40 grand a year. And then on the side, I don't know that there was actually a lot of income because for the first couple of years, it was a lot of us putting money in, me going to training, seminars, all that stuff. Yeah. And then, so I had February, March, April, where I was just kind of putzing along. Mm-hmm. So let's say, but I was having to work 7 days a week. Mm-hmm. When I was in orthodontics. So I was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at ortho, and then Friday through Monday dog training. So it was fast track to burnout. And I mean, in those first few months before hiring you, I was only grossing $2,000 to $3,000. Yeah. And then 3 months after hiring you, $20,000.
There you go.
10 times the income in, just kind of the same amount either end. So it's been incredibly rewarding. We bought a boat because we can. We bought an ATV. Like my husband gets his toys.
That's great. And he got to quit the job he hated.
What's that?
He got to quit the job he hated.
He got to quit the job he hated. He now has a union job for slightly less pay, but he is so happy. He's home all the time. He's present. That's awesome. I can be happy and present. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not working my butt off. Like we're home for dinner every night with our daughter. Yeah. Even though I have evening clients, clients work around when I can work.
Yeah. I remember we went around in circles about that, not in circles, but we talked about that a lot, about like how if you put boundaries in place that people will respect them, but you have to set them, and that, you decide when you're going to work and how much you're going to work and how that translates into your income.
Yeah.
What's that?
If there's a wait list, there's a wait list.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And people wait for you. You're one of the examples I give all the time about how people will wait for you. If you say the right things and your programs are great and describe well.
Months.
Yeah. I
have someone, they chose to wait for my next evening session. They just signed up last week. They don't start till July and they're fine with that. They quote in the email, get to work with me.
That's right.
Yeah, it's really cool. And it's such a rewarding job. It can absolutely be draining. And you can absolutely just get by. But Molly, you taught me to charge what I'm worth.
Yep.
And that was the thing is here's the kicker. I didn't know my worth until I started working with you. I didn't know what I was capable of.
No. And what was it that made you realize that? Was it because I said that you can charge at least this, go do it? Yeah. That I just said, here's your new prices.
And then I remember that. And I was charging like, even in that August, like that was me busting my butt. Okay. That was that 24 clients a week. And I'm now down 10 clients a week and making more than I was that August because I followed your advice.
One other question for you. What do you think is the biggest mistake that dog trainers make, or that you made, or that you see other dog trainers make now that seems kind of obvious to you?
Not charging enough. And that was the one thing that you drill home in your programs, like not charging enough and forcing people into one program or another without giving them options to choose.
Yeah. Or like even just charging by the hour, because then that's just one.
Yes. I didn't even think of that because I haven't been there in so long.
Yeah.
Can you believe I used to charge $55 a session? And now,
I'm not surprised.
Included in my programs, I think, what did we average? It was like $230.
Yeah.
$230 a session.
Wow.
That I average within my programs. But again, the programs, it's a whole bunch of things put together. I don't know if you know that, Molly, but let me teach you a thing or two here. The programs, the way they're designed. But it's all in there. I mean, charging per session instead of having a program. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Not hiring Molly. Don't do that.
Not hiring Molly. Don't do that.
Yeah, not hiring Molly is a mistake. Don't not hire Molly. In other words, hire Molly. Not having programs, not charging enough, not having boundaries. It's still, after 2 years working with you, this year is when I finally really cemented those boundaries.
Yeah, it took me a while.
I actually just decreased my hours.
That's good. I said it took me a while to get you to give yourself permission for that.
I know. Mom guilt. It's real. Real.
It is a real thing.
Molly's amazing. She didn't tell me to say this, but honestly, you will not regret hiring her. And then she becomes a friend and you get to talk to her, especially if you're having babies, and she'll tell you all the awful things that come true.
Yes, that's true. I can do that.
Yeah.
Well, you're so much fun, Michelle. I love you.
I love you too, Molly. It's been amazing.
Thank you.
It really has. I talk about you all the time. My husband, like I said, he always asks how you're doing. So you've been a big part of our life. And the majority of that is just having you there for your guidance. And again, actually listening and putting in the work to what you said is the key. Yeah. That's another mistake the dog trainers make, is hiring someone, but just expecting it to happen.
Right. Yeah. You gotta actually implement. And that's actually what I've said to a lot of my favorite people that I've worked with, is like, you were awesome at taking what you learned and going and doing, because you can't get any results from just sitting on it and, over analyzing it or just dragging your feet. Yeah. So you did amazing. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. Yeah.
Well, it was thanks to your program. I mean, thanks to me for putting in the work, but thanks to you for having it. It really made a huge difference in our lives.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's very sweet of you. Oh.